back in this space. A few months back I filmed a Rocket League announcement here, so this is for the Fortnite team, but I'm not using any of that. I'm gonna try to do some stuff here. It was just last minute. After this we're gonna try to find some more cool stuff to do, but pretty cool set. It's got a bunch of different scenarios you can use. You have like this like gun room, just like metal shed. That's what they call the trap house. All that. Yeah. Pretty cool little spot. It's in Mesquite, Texas, called Filmed by Prophecy, if you want to check it out. What's nice about the studio is they have spotlights that they can control on that computer over there, so you get a lot of cool stuff with that. And then they have like this laser system that does like shapes and everything, bunch of different lighting options. They do have this for like a nice top down. Kind of wish I had a bigger light personally, but so that means you don't have to bring a ton. I only brought the 300C in case I want to add some extra color onto something, but I mean this is all just hero shots and whatnot, so I'm gonna set it up, but I got a feeling I'm not gonna use it very much.
So this is actually a really cool opportunity. One, this is a retainer client that I had picked up, and we didn't really put a time frame on it. We're just gonna kind of play it by ear, see how it goes. But as of right now, he is looking to get work out of me every single month. Two, this is the player manager for Booga. So Booga is one of the biggest names in all of esports. He's one of the youngest players, I think, to ever win a world championship. Just basically a generational talent. One of the things is I don't really care to do a bunch of corporate work. I don't really think I even care to do a bunch of commercial work. I want to stay in esports as long as I can, and the more opportunities I get to continue to work with these big names, the more likely that I will be able to continue to make my money and make my career within esports. It's a small niche, and I'm just going to continue to work to be the guy that people want to go to when it comes to esport content.
So now I have this. I can walk over here, turn this on, connect, and boom, just like that, they can now see what I'm doing. So if I move the camera around, then they can see it. Boom. Clients love this, and it doesn't even have to be anything crazy. Over here, I don't know what, boom, now they have it, a full feed of what I'm doing.
What the fuck? Manatee. Rockets. Fish. That's fish.
That's actually crazy though.
Rockets. Shark. Dude, what is going on?
So you gotta kind of like walk it in. Okay, yeah, I got it. On action one, right? Yeah. But you can look up action. Don't like worry about action one, action two. Because action one is for you to start walking. Okay. Action two.
Does anybody else do this? This is how I most of the time travel with my camera. I don't want to break it down. I don't have a doctor bag to put it in. I just throw it in the front seat, seatbelt it in.
So moving forward with the retainer client, I do want to show behind the scenes and stuff, especially for people who have an interest in esports. I just don't want to show it all the time, every time. So I'll kind of lump these vlogs together. But this is like a couple weeks later, I believe. And he basically wanted to get some interviews for this documentary that we're going to start working on. So that is what this setup is about to be for, which is really cool. You'll get to see right there, Tarun is the manager, and he's using the iPad as the monitor like I was showing you a minute ago, and he loves it. He's able to kind of see exactly what's going on. He was able to help me shape the look that they were kind of going for. For this setup, it was pretty simple. I used the neon light as my backlight. I closed off all the windows, cleaned up the set a little bit, and then just threw the 300D with the Light Dome Mark III, I believe, on there to give a nice soft light. Set up the A7S III for a second angle, and yeah, I think honestly these shots came out pretty nice. This has been my goal for the last year, is basically to be the guy that people go to for content in Dallas. I love esports. I'm very passionate about esports. That's what I'm looking for, is to be kind of the more premium product here. Having some kind of monthly retainer amount
is security in my eyes. Now we're headed to a studio to film more of a YouTube style of content.
This is where things got a little complicated. They wanted to make a video called Guess the Pro, and if you're familiar with the format, then you know that audio-wise, this is a nightmare. Basically, the 4 players are trying to guess between like 6 or 7 people who the pro is. So I had to find a way to get audio on everybody. Basically, what they end up doing is taking my Zoom F6 with my XLR to 3.5 millimeter jack. So I pretty much had 2 XLR to 3.5 millimeters. This held the receivers to the Rode mics and the DJI mics. And then I had 1 boom mic plugged in to the F6 by itself. To get the audio for the people that they were trying to guess, they just had 1 single mic and a mic holder, and they would pass it around whenever it was their time to talk. I'm actually pretty proud that it worked out, and those 3.5 millimeter jacks basically saved the entire thing. They only had to sync the audio 1 time to the FX6, and they were good to go. Ideally, in the future, we will have an audio guy because I had to basically set it and forget it, so the audio wasn't the highest quality. I also only had 1 tripod with me, so I had to carry the other camera with me the whole time, which didn't make for the best viewing experience. And the last thing we're doing is shooting a documentary on Booga, telling his story, and then we did another piece of content where he kind of talks about how he spent his first $1 million. Very simple light setup. I used the Amaran P2C as my hair light in the kitchen scene, and then I used it as just like a accent light whenever we did the actual interview setup. For the key light, I used the 300 with the Light Dome 3 again. I think it worked out. I think the shot looks great. We have American Airlines Center in the background, which is iconic for Dallas. I love the way it looks. I think it doesn't scream esports. I love the center framing and him talking straight into the camera. So yeah, pretty happy with how that came out.